On this episode of Travelogue, we drive across the top of the world to arrive in Sichuan's Shangri area. We'll immerse ourselves in Buddhist mysticism at the Ganzi Lamassari and discover why Yading is said to be the source of inspiration for James Hilton's Shangri-La. We'll marvel at sacred peaks that are steeped in legend and be overwhelmed by the majesty of our natural surroundings. We've now left Litang and on our journey towards Yading in the Shangri area. Our road crosses through snow-capped mountains that still have the remains of glaciers from a bygone era. We're now 4,700 meters high, and this kind of scenery, all of this, will become more and more common as we drive towards Yading and its 3 sacred peaks. I'm Duran, and welcome to Travelogue. Pushing ourselves forward towards Shangri-La, we climb onto Heights Mountain, the highest place we'll drive across this entire trip. I'll be honest with you, even though it feels like you're walking across the top of the world, there's a certain sense of dread that you just can't shake off, and I know I definitely wouldn't want to be stranded up there. Oh, we're on Heights Mountain, which I'm told is 5,000 meters high up, and all I can see around me is barren rock, snow, and this kind of ice wasteland. But I can't believe that even this high up, you can see a road paved all the way over there into the horizon, and power lines behind us, and right here, someone's actually inscribed a Tibetan mantra on this huge boulder. I can't believe it. This feels out of this world. And I'm also freezing, so I need to get back to the car. The road to Yading gets pretty dangerous. When you're this high up, the weather can change so drastically that within minutes, visibility can drop to absolute zero. We had to get up at 5:30 in the morning, and it's so cold I can't feel my toes. But we've driven to the top of Urchulsan to watch the sunrise over the mountaintops, and it really is very, very beautiful. Shangri-La is a place known by many, but understood by few. It's originally from the book Lost Horizon by James Hilton, and is a mythical paradise hidden from the outside world, where people apparently live forever. It's hard to say where Hilton got his idea from, but some believe it refers to Shambhala, a pure land in Tibetan Buddhism where all the inhabitants are enlightened. Others consider it a state of mind. However, I've been told that Hilton was in fact inspired by the accounts of Yading and its mountains written in 1928 by American explorer Joseph Rock. The 3 sacred mountains found here represent the bodhisattvas of compassion, wisdom and wrath. And it's said that every Tibetan's wish is to make at least one pilgrimage here in their lifetime. So I've been told that before the Tibetans go and visit the 3 sacred peaks in the Yading Nature Reserve, they must first come and pray here at the Ganzi Lamassari. Let's go inside and have a look. Since ancient times, pilgrims have come here to burn incense and gain blessings for their visits to the sacred mountains. Built in the 15th century, Ganzi is one of the biggest lamassaries in Daoshan, and it's well worth paying the 10 RMB entrance fee to come in and see the beautiful Buddhist murals, statues and practicing lamas. We're really very lucky, and I've been told that we've arrived at the end of a 7-day Buddhist ceremony. Now, the lamas must burn 1,000 of these yak butter candles and also make 1,000 sculptures of chortens out of tsampa and also yak butter, and recite sutras 1,000 times. Let's go inside and see. This entire ceremony, complete with ritual offerings, is being carried out because of one special item. Kept in a room unfortunately off limits to tourists, this Lamassari holds a solid gold chorten with a bronze statue of the Maitreya Buddha inside, a gift from the 5th Dalai Lama. Maitreya is a future Buddha who's prophesied to appear on earth after Buddhist teachings have been forgotten, and since his statue is too heavy to bring out, the lamas here make chortens as a substitute. These sculptures that look like chortens, the stupas that we see outside, are offerings to the Buddhas, and they're made of tsampa and yak butter, and each of them represents something. This circular thing in the middle represents the wheel of transmigration, the wheel of existence in Buddhism, and then above it, the moon and the sun at the top. I have been really looking forward to seeing one of these. This is a Bhava Chakra, and it depicts the wheel of transmigration, the wheel of existence in Buddhism. And right in the middle, you see the 3 poisons of Buddhism: the pig representing ignorance, the rooster representing greed, and the snake representing hatred. And as we move outward, you have these 6 realms, the 6 realms of Buddhism, where you have the devas at the top, the gods, and then on the left-hand side are the humans, and the top right, the asuras, the half-gods. And as we move towards the lower half of the circle, you've got the animals here on the left, the pretas, the hungry ghosts on the right, and right down here, Naraka, which is Buddhist hell. And as we move even further out, this outer section has 12 sections, and these 12 sections represent the 12 sins, the 12 causalities that cause us to remain in this never-ending cycle of life and death. And right at the top, you have this kind of scary figure, the 3-eyed figure. This is usually the god of death, Yama, who holds onto the wheel of transmigration, which represents the fact that life is transitory, that everything is impermanent.
Legends say the Buddha himself created the first Bhava Chakra, and I found myself awestruck by the complex yet perfect clarity of its design. Some say that if humans are able to rid themselves of their worldly desires, they stand the best chance of becoming enlightened and escaping from the never-ending cycle of life and death. Departing from the Lamassari, we head towards Ruwa, which lies in Shangri County. For most people, Ruwa is the final place where they can stock up on supplies and get a good night's rest before heading off for Yading.
So there are lots of different types of accommodation here in Ruwa, ranging from youth hostels to 4-star hotels, but I've chosen something more traditional, and this 150-year-old house has been renovated into a hotel, which is where I'm staying at. Let me show you around. Alright guys, come inside. This is my room. Everything here is original except for the furniture, they're all new. And I've got all the mod cons, I've got a flat screen TV. Let's go check out my shower. You see, this is nice, this is nice. Honestly speaking though, all of this doesn't come cheap, and it costs around $100 a night to stay here. But honestly, if you're going to come here, you might as well sample the traditional Tibetan house and traditional Tibetan culture. And if you look outside, all the other houses are in the same style as well.
I was really impressed by the design of this guest house, and loved the fact that, although it looks like any other Tibetan house on the outside, its inside is that of a completely modern hotel. The key word here is convenience, and there are even prayer wheels on the floor above for the discerning Buddhist.
Alright guys, this is the 3rd floor, and we've got a really lovely terrace here, and since we're in such a central location, I've got a really nice view
of the old style Tibetan houses and then the mountains surrounding us on all sides. It's a really nice view.
There's another reason why I chose this place, and if you see these guys outside, you simply must join in on the fun.
This is the local dance, and they do this whenever they have a bit of spare time, but I don't think I'm very good at this. Although I have no idea what they're singing, apparently they're singing these songs that are meant to be very beautiful, and they're meant to be poems as well.
You'll often see guests and locals dancing outside, as it's one of the best ways to get a taste of everyday Tibetan life. This house used to be owned by the village head. These days, he lives in a modern building nearby, but he still treats this place as his home, and often comes over to eat and chat with his family and friends.
After a long round of dancing, we're going to sit down to some Tibetan-style dinner, so
Plush modern rooms and a genuine Tibetan experience. You really can have the best of both worlds here. Well rested and well watered, we finally arrive at the Yading Nature Reserve. You need 2 or 3 days to see everything here. Tickets cost 150 RMB, and shuttle buses are the only mode of transport inside the reserve. I'd wanted for so long to see Yading's sacred peaks, but with the weather here so unpredictable, it seemed like the clouds would prevent us from seeing anything at all.
Sorry guys, I'm a little emotional right now because we drove through the clouds, and as we drove, the clouds parted and we suddenly saw the face of Shangri, the incarnation of the Bodhisattva, Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion, and we just saw it for an instant and... sorry.
It's hard to describe what came over me, but as soon as I saw the peak of Shangri, I was overwhelmed by a sense of joy and relief. Shangri is said to represent the Bodhisattva of compassion, but you don't have to be Buddhist to believe that mountains aren't just mountains. There's something else there, and it's that power that'll move you so completely, even to the point of tears.
Up there is the sacred peak of Shangri, and if you look down there, you'll find the village of Yading, from which this nature reserve gets its name. In Tibetan, it means the land that faces the sun, and you can actually live down there, although the living conditions will be a lot more basic than other places. However, it will be a lot more convenient for you to go from here and go through this road that leads you to the bottom of the 3 sacred peaks.